Gentlemen, my name is Chris. This is my channel, Bar 911970. As always, I want to thank you guys for listening to what I have to say. And I want to talk so much about something that so many people in this world are just holding on to, and that's fear. The biggest thing I can explain, because I've been going through such a positive process in my life, and it took me over a decade to finally figure stuff out. And I want to share it with you because there's going to be things changing in this world, and many people will not be able to accept it. Many people are going to see fear like they're seeing. And if you live in fear, you're just never going to progress. All you're going to do is regress, or at the very least, stay the same. And if you're not happy, then that's never a good thing. We come here to experience and help others. And if you've ever been on an airplane before, one of the things that they tell you before the flight takes off is that if there is some kind of emergency and the air compartments open up and you're with, let's say, for example, if you're a mother or a father with your child, they tell you to put the mask on yourself first before you put it on your child. The reason for that is if you put that on your, if you don't put it on yourself and you pass out or something happens, then you cannot be helpful to others. So in other words, you have to help yourself before you can help others. And that was my biggest learning lesson in the past decade or so, even doing this on this channel, is because, like many others, I want to help save the world. I want the world to be a better place. And I was very frustrated that I couldn't do it. But over time, I started to learn, well, you have to heal yourself. You have to be able to bring the power back to yourself and set it as an example for others to follow. Because with the gift of free will, you can never force anybody into doing anything they do not want to do. And that is including doing the right thing, even if it's beneficial to them, even if they know it is. Free will means that everyone has the choice to do what they want, whether it be the right thing, the wrong thing, or nothing at all. But no matter what you choose, there are always consequences. So the biggest hurdles I had to learn was for me to help others. If I was drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes and doing drugs, and especially not, manufactured drugs, for example, I'm not talking about things that come from plants, because remember, aspirin is a drug too, so keep that in mind. But if I was way overweight and looked like my body was deteriorating, who's going to follow that person's advice, even if it was helpful? Because they'll be like, well, you're talking about all this stuff, and yet look at your life. Fair enough. Since I have learned through trial and error and through the years to eliminate my fear and use it, without the negatives in your life, you will never grow. You will never change. So most people see things that happen to themselves in their life as bad karma or bad luck or woe is me, and you feel sorry for yourself, and seeing it as motivational tools to get you to a higher level. Because things just okay, you're not going to do anything. Do you ever realize in your life, and I say all the time, you realize, you ever, you do your best work on, like all of a sudden there's a deadline, you didn't do your deadline, or you didn't do your regular work, or there's a crisis in your life. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I can't help with the connections, unfortunately. Let me get a little closer maybe to the house so you might be able to get a little bit better. Sorry about that. I was trying to go out by the plants and stuff that I've been planting. So here's one of the many plants I've surrounded myself with. My house now is literally surrounded by plants. The energy they give off is amazing, and I highly recommend, if you have the ability to, to get yourself some plants. I have them all over. I have all fruits and vegetables and tomato plants and things like that. But let's get back to it. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. The biggest hurdle in our lives that we see as a crutch is fear. Fear is a choice. It's manufactured. It's a learned experience. The beautiful thing about anything that you learn is, like anything that you learn that may not be accurate for you, you can learn other things, other ways. It's for example, if somebody tells you, let's say you're traveling from New York to Los Angeles and you don't know how to get there, you can ask directions and somebody could say, well, if you take this route and go this way, you'll get there. Well, they could be 100% right, but that is not the only way to go. It's like when somebody predicts the future and says, well, this and this is going to happen. Well, that's only going to work in your favor if you believe that to be true or the only possibility. So there are endless possibilities in your life. If you keep going in circles, you're not learning and you're going to continue the loop. So there are many people that even watch my channel that say, oh yeah, I understand and I get it and I'm thankful. But if you're still in the same spot you were years ago, you're not growing, and it's because of fear that's holding you back for whatever reason. You have to search from within. You cannot look outward for whatever it is to have this. Silver is a good investment if you're ready to go long term and it's protection of wealth. But I got many videos for that, so please watch that. So I want to stick to the topic so I don't lose out, because this is more important than physical gold and silver. But it can help you, but you got to know how to do it, and this is not the video for that, so please check out other videos. All right, so you're going to learn every day. And when you start to understand about all the negative parts of you is just the opposite sides of you trying to teach you, and you listen to them and be grateful for the experiences you've had, because you ever notice it's the ones that receive the most pain in life that are the ones that want to be the most helpful and want to be the most healing? Even though there are times you feel like you want to die, you want to kill yourself, you want to leave the planet because you just can't feel that pain anymore. I was that way too. And then I realized that's okay. Empathy means that you feel other people's pain. And to be a powerful being, to absorb other people's energy in the negative fashion, it's like a soda bottle that's being shaken up. But if you don't release what's inside that soda can, it's just going to burst. So you have to deal with inside. Don't worry about what's going on around you, because you can handle anything. You're here, aren't you? You have survived all the tragedies in your life. You came here to learn and to grow and to expand. So for you to expand and to rise up to a higher source, a higher level, things have to change. You cannot have things the same. You cannot just live your life just content where you are and think to yourself, well, how is my life going to get better? How am I going to advance to the next level? So it's not supposed to be stagnant. You know, a river is clear water because it flows. A pond is full of scum because it doesn't move. But I want to talk about some of the things I've eliminated since I've given up fear. I've had a total of 2 beers span of about 10 years. I don't drink, even though I work at bars. I don't smoke. I don't drink coffee. I eliminated soda. I have recently eliminated sugary sweet snacks. I don't eat cakes and cookies and brownies and all those things, and I don't miss it anymore. There's a transition period, but I don't miss them anymore. My drink of choice is water. Spring water. That's 90% of what I drink on a weekly basis is water with a couple of slices of lemon in it. If it's not that, it's orange juice or it's almond milk, and that's it. I've lost, I weigh now, I not show it because of the beard and everything, beard makes it look fluffy, but I weigh now what I weighed in high school. Now, I don't have six-pack abs or anything like that, but, you know, considering you see most people, I mean, look how many actors, when they get older, how much overweight they become. And I'm actually been losing weight and in better shape. My breathing problems that I've had since I was an infant are going away. If you hear some little coughing, it's one of the cats underneath me right now. I'll show you. As his name's Tommy, he loves to follow me around. It's one of the many outside cats. Yes, animal food, I've pretty much 90% of it. I mean, I still eat cheese and stuff, and every now and then if I have a craving, I always feel like if you have a craving, you have to go with it. But most of my food now, like even hamburgers, I have the vegan meat. And there's some really good ones out there that make it taste good. And we grow our own tomatoes. And I've recently made my own pasta sauce from the plants that I've been growing. Your life will change in so many ways, but you have to stop being afraid. You know what people sometimes are afraid of? Afraid of being loved. Now, as silly as that sounds, you know why a lot of people are afraid of being loved? Because they've given love to somebody or many people, and those people betrayed them. And it hurts. And people are so afraid to think that they're ever going to feel that pain again that they would rather shut themselves off from ever experiencing it again. How silly is that if you think about it from that aspect? That people are so afraid of love because they've been hurt before. Well, those people who hurt you, they couldn't have done it without your permission to get when you got here. It was there to teach you, to motivate you to go to another level. So don't curse the people that have hurt you. Don't wish them pain, because then that doesn't change anything. You want to thank them. You don't have to physically thank them. You don't have to call them. You don't have to email them. You don't have to speak to them. You could just say in your heart, thank you for the experiences that you gave me, which motivated me to become the person that I am. Because without those painful experiences, you would have not gone in other directions that may lead you to a better person or a better life or a better situation. People worry about what has not happened. I mean, just look at what's still going on in the world with certain, let's just say, bacteria. Okay? If you have not died from it, what is there to be afraid of? It's people's fear of the what if. Well, you are so focused on the what if that you actually don't realize how powerful you are, that you will manifest that into your own reality to prove what you were feeling in your heart was right. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Because you are a manifester. We are all manifestors. Whether you understand that or believe it or not is irrelevant to who you are. Look around you and point out air. You can't. But it's there, and you're breathing it. So just because you cannot see, touch, taste, hear, feel something does not mean it doesn't exist. I mean, science should pretty much tell you at this point about the universe and particles that you just cannot see. The problem is you've been told all your life to live in fear and to have the experience of, well, seeing times in your life, that's to condition you to stay away from your truth and your power, because the easy road is the right road. I mean, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, unless you go into quantum, and then it's just similar points at different points in time. But if you go by what you were told, you know, a straight line is going to be quicker than zigzagging all over the place. But if you're zigzagging all over the place, don't be sad that you didn't take the fastest route, because maybe the longer route got you there in a better way. Quicker does not always mean better. I mean, have a relationship with a loved one and do things quickly and see how positive that ends up. I mean, it can be for one, but, you know, somebody might be left a little disappointed. And last thing you want is in a intimate relationship to be called Speedy Gonzales. So I'm trying to make a little humor out of this. But I was so afraid of being judged. Because when I first got on the internet and started my original channel, Born on 11/9/67, then changed it to Born on 11/9/70 about 10 years ago, I was so worried about being judged because I was ridiculed. I was made fun of. And that triggered experiences from when I was a little kid. And then I had to overcome the fear of death. I've almost died probably 10 times in my life. I don't fear death anymore. But my last hurdle, which happened recently, and I talked about in other videos, is I was so afraid of being judged. I ended up exposing myself to the world, not, you know, not like a pervert or anything, but like talking to my mother and sharing things about myself that I felt were beautiful, and like things that I'm teaching you here. being so afraid to be judged. And trust me, I was judged. Worse than I thought it was. But it helped me on the inside because I'm no longer fearful of what people think. There are going to be people that will watch this video and think, oh, this person's bat poop crazy. It does not matter what anybody else's right to an opinion is, because their free will could say that winning the lottery is the craziest, dumbest thing. Well, maybe it is for them. Maybe winning the lottery could be a curse to you, because what if you spend that money on drugs and you end up angry, getting a drug dealer angry, and they shoot and kill you or your family? Just because something appears to be good doesn't mean that's where the path is going to lead you. Sometimes it's the road less traveled. It's the not expecting things to happen. You can take fear and make it fun. Go to a action park, an amusement park. Go on the roller coaster. It's scary, right? But it can be fun unless you let that fear overwhelm you. Who wants to go on a roller coaster and throw up and feel sick? That's an experience, but one I will not want to partake in. What about surprises, the unknown? Well, have you ever gotten a gift in your life that was in a box that was wrapped in paper that you had no idea was in it? Do you ever get scared? Just imagine on your birthday or Christmas or some other holiday, somebody gives you a present and you're too afraid to open it because, oh, I don't know what's inside. It could be anything. It could be, it could be spiders. It could be dog poop. You don't think that. You're excited. You're happy. You're anticipating. And sometimes you open the box and it's not really something you wanted because maybe you got a tie or you got some socks or something that is just so impersonal it didn't mean anything to you. But it's the thought of somebody caring enough to want to give you something that we seem to not appreciate anymore, or we seem to forget about, and becomes mundane and it becomes regular. If you are focusing on the television, you are never going to raise your consciousness. If you are living in fear because you're in a situation that you will never admit to yourself that you put yourself in and can get yourself out of, you're never going to grow. If you are sitting there waiting for Superman to come and save you, you will spend eternity waiting for something to come because you have to save yourself. That's the secret. And if you want to help others, you cannot tell people how to live. You have to base it by example. So somebody can be inspired just by seeing what you do or hearing your story. Notice there is more of a glow to my face. I hardly ever use my inhaler anymore. I used to use it 30 times a day, which is way beyond the recommended use. That's how bad my breathing was. And it wasn't because I had some bacteria. It's because when you harbor in your emotions, because emotions is nothing more than energy in motion, we are all made of light, which is energy, it stores up in certain parts of your area, of your body, and it can cause dis-ease. And you don't need medicines to cure it. Now, some people are not at the level that can understand that you can heal yourself. And if you feel that medicines can help your situation and you want to put your power and your energy into that pill or that liquid and put it into your body and it helps you, then by all means, please do. There is no wrong way. Everything is an experience because, like I've said before, even a bad experience is still an experience. But if you continue to do the same loops over and over again, yes, you may be grateful at what I'm saying. It may resonate with you at that moment. You may even like it. You may even believe in it. You may even resonate with it. But if you do nothing with it, then it is nothing more than wasted energy. And the reason I do it is not because I'm going to save millions of people, because 13 people are watching this right now, and probably within a week it'll go up to 100, maybe to 300, maybe to 500 out of 46,000 subscribers, which goes down every day. But if I get one person to change their life, who's to say that one person isn't the one that ends up using that information to help change the world? The idea is to let go of the fear and the negativity, not by cursing it, not by abandoning it, by turning the negative aspects in your life into something positive. It's if the world hands you lemons, make lemonade. Do not see the negative aspects as something you need to get rid of or abuse. Like, for example, how many movies have you seen in your lifetime where there'll be some evil spirit that possesses somebody, and what do they say they have to do? They have to banish it. They have to do an exorcism. Well, if you are that quote-unquote evil spirit, which is just nothing more than a difference of energy, it's the opposite energy of you, because you need the yin and yang to have an existence in this physical world. There has to be an opposite so you can learn from what not to be if you choose to. Just imagine for a second you were that entity who's just surviving like we are, but in a different aspect of survival. We consume food, okay? Let's say you eat meat. Well, to a cow, you would be considered very evil, wouldn't you? Because just imagine if you're a cow and you have consciousness and you hear that the humans all gather you up from when you're a baby. Some of them get tortured as a baby and left in cages to become ill. The others get lined up and executed so it can be consumed. Well, if you had consciousness as a cow, you'd see humans as very evil people. But we do it because we feel that we need to survive. Well, there are other energies and entities in this infinite universe that consume energy in different ways. Because if you even think about it, if you eat the cow eats the grass that gets the energy from the sun. Everything is energy. So you're just consuming different vibrational energy levels based on what something else has consumed. But if you are a quote-unquote evil entity, which is just the only way, your food source is fear, because it's an energy source, and you use that as consumption of food. It's your source of energy. Well, you're just doing it to survive. Now just imagine if somebody's trying to banish you and murder you and expel you and view you as evil. How would that make you feel? How many times have you been told in your life, even from channels that are seemingly very spiritual and uplifting and talk about raising your consciousness, talking about how we're at war? How can you say you're an enlightened being if you use the word war in a sentence? I want you to really think about that. Anyone that says we are at war, and that could be a spiritual war, it could be a drug war, it could be an actual physical war. No war leads to anything beneficial, because one side tries to dominate another side, and the other side doesn't learn anything other than how to defend itself, and karma makes them come back to get you at an even worse level. Think about it like you ever see like a Family Feud kind of thing from the Old West, where one family killed somebody in another family. So what do? They don't thank them, they don't appreciate them, they don't let it go, they don't love them, they don't forgive them. What do? They send somebody else to kill somebody else on their family. Or maybe they kill two people. And those people, instead of forgiving them and saying we need to find a better way, they go back and kill more people. In other words, it's back and forth like a tennis match forever and ever. Because they're not learning anything, they're not growing. So war is nothing positive. Even if you think of an angelic war, if you are that spiritual and you believe there are angels that are fighting demons, well, fighting does not bring unity, because guess what? We all come from one source. So if you are killing your opposite or trying to injure or hurt your opposite, you are actually hurting part of yourself. How does that help you grow? And until even higher species in this universe and multiverse and infinite level of consciousness start to get it, that the only way we will all transcend is if we all transcend together. In other words, if something is evil, fighting it does not change it from being evil. As a matter of fact, it probably makes it more evil and makes it more bitter and more angry and more vengeful and more lower of a vibration. But if you can teach it love, if you can show it love, if you can show an example that even through the depths of the darkness you can still find the light, you can change everything into becoming more positive and more loving. That's what it's all about. If you're angry all the time at what you see in the news and you're still watching the news, is that the news's fault or your fault? So stop worrying about what the media and what the governments, because trust me, I used to do that all the time on my channel. So I lead by example, and I am not afraid or ashamed of the things that I've put on my channel, because it's to show growth. Watch my videos from 10 years ago. See the difference in how I speak and what I speak about. If you are the same angry person you were 10 years ago, or the same scared person you were 10 years ago, that's not the world's fault. That's your responsibility to change yourself. Nobody's supposed to lift you up out of bed and make you tie your shoes and brush your teeth and put food in your mouth. You are supposed to be responsible for that. So why is the world and universe, when you are given the gift of free will, why is it their job to take care of you and save you? You have to learn to save yourself. But people don't want to hear that, because then that puts the responsibility on them, and then you can no longer point fingers. You know what? My life is not perfect, but it's getting better and better. Nobody is helping me by tying my shoes. Nobody's putting a spoonful of food in my mouth. I do everything on my own. I have help with friends and family when I need it, and loved ones. And I listen to advice, and I hear things that will be more and more positive, but I ultimately take responsibility for what I choose, because the universe loves you so much it gave you free will. Free will means you could make every mistake you want, and because love is so powerful, it created infinity, because infinity was created so you can take forever to learn to be loved. If you think you cannot be loved, or you have no love in your life, you have no idea how wrong you are, because every loved one in your existence here, and that is no longer here, is watching over you, and they are helping you in more ways than you can ever understand. You are never alone. And trust me, I don't have friends. I don't seek them out. I don't go out. I moved away from my friends and family. The only person I have in my life is my wife and these cats, which I take care of, about 25 of them at this point. I spend my days now gardening. I'd show you the plants, but I'd get away from my Wi-Fi. But I have, I'll tell you what I have. I have a pineapple plant, which, by the way, you can just go to a store, get a pineapple. The top part of the pineapple, you twist it off. You take it, put it in about a quarter bit of water, so the bottom part of it is barely touching the water, until it grows roots. Plant it in the ground, it will grow a whole new pineapple. So I have a pineapple tree, I have a strawberry tree, I have mint, I have oregano, I have basil, cucumbers. I have 3 banana trees. I have a lemon tree, a lime tree, a blueberry bush, an orange tree, tomato plants. And like I said, my house is surrounded by positive energy from nature. Get back into nature. Walk barefoot in the sand if you're near the beach. Walk on the dirt. Stay off the concrete. There's a reason why you have so many nerve endings in your fingers and your toes. It's meant to absorb the energy from the earth that vibrates. And if you think that's crazy, just listen to science. They've even told you that space has a sound. It's in the key of, I believe, C sharp. Sound is nothing more than energy vibrating. You have to know these things if you want to transcend. You don't have to learn them, because free will can dictate your choices, even if you make bad ones. You have the free will to jump off a cliff. I wouldn't suggest it. But you also have the free will to save yourself, because you cannot save others until you save yourself. And I've spent a decade trying to figure that out, because I was always like, well, you know, I know all this information, yet I'm not reaching anybody. And actually change their life without even realizing it. The other night I was DJing on Saturday, and there was it was a dead night, because there's playoffs that I guess people were watching, or whatever. Maybe people just wanted to stay home that night, and it was maybe 30, 40 people in the bar. So instead of moping and feeling bad and saying, oh, I'm not going to make any money or anything like that, I, from the beginning, started playing all like 80s and 90s dance music. And for 4 hours straight, the people that were there had the time of their life. They were dancing nonstop. Some women actually went home to get sneakers, because they went to the bar in sandals, not anticipating the night they were going to have, and wanted to dance and can't do it in flip-flops. And if you ever go to any local bars, you probably don't want to walk around barefoot. They actually went home to get their sneakers to come back so they can dance all night. But what that showed is, through my one person, my one self, I had the ability to entertain others for 4 hours where they had nothing but smiles and nostalgia and fun. So I influenced the lives of at least 35 to 40 people Who knows what that changes their life when they went home or saw it the next day and felt maybe good about themselves. Because maybe they went to the bar feeling depressed because maybe they broke up with somebody in a relationship, or they got into a fight with a loved one, or they lost a job, or they have financial problems and they were going to go to the bar to just sit at the bar and drink and get depressed. Just imagine where their life would have went that way if that's what would have happened. You have no idea what kind of influences you can have on people's lives, both positive and negative. If you're an angry person that makes videos about making fun of people and attacking people and hurting people, the people that watch it, that's all they're going to see. And if they admire you for that, they might actually start imitating what you do. I'm setting a good example, but free will allows you to do that if you so choose. Take responsibility for your life. Look from within. Take those deep breaths. Feel the tingling that goes up and down your spine and process it to the center of your head in your pineal gland. Picture yourself with a golden cord that reaches up connects to source or your higher self. If you don't know these things, I highly recommend you start learning them. You don't have to, because like I said, free will dictates that you can do whatever you want, including make fun of this, ignore this, or even hate this. This is for the very few that are ready to advance themselves because the way they've been going has not given them the joy that they want. Because you could be a millionaire and not have joy. You can have intimate relations with thousands of people on a daily basis and still feel empty. The material world is there to keep you down. Because remember, when you close your eyes for the last time on this third dimensional plane, you do not cease to exist. Like a caterpillar that goes into a cocoon, they transfer into a butterfly. In other words, you become something higher. When you're ready to realize that, you'll improve your life. And to improve your life, stop worrying about the bills that are coming up. Stop worrying about the relationships that may or may not happen or end, or may not be ending. Don't worry about your financial situation. Don't worry about the trivial things that are meant to keep your vibration at a lower level. Know that no matter what happens, you will always be okay, and everything that presents itself is there for a purpose. So you say to yourself, what can I learn through this experience? And then say to yourself, no matter what comes my way, I will always benefit from it in some way, shape, or form. If you stick to it positive and you get rid of your fear in the sense of transferring it into something beautiful and thanking it for getting you to be where you are, you will be better. And it can take time. That's why there is repeated lifetimes. Think of it like the 6th grade, or pick any grade, I don't care. You're in the 6th grade. If you just don't do your homework and you don't learn the lessons and you fail every test, guess what happens? You repeat the 6th grade. Well, it's the same thing in life. If you come here in this lifetime to learn things, and free will dictates you can ignore every purpose that you had, because when you come here, you forget who you are and what you are, and your free will allows you to do whatever you want, well, you can drink your life away. You could smoke your life away. You can do drugs. You could spend your life worrying about material things, and you're going to fail the course, and it just means you're coming back again to repeat it all over again. Sometimes people do it for millions and millions of eons before they realize, because you need realize to realize that it's time to change. And that's like what I said, that's the purpose of the creation of infinity. And love is so powerful that it will allow you forever to learn this. So instead of hating people that have wronged you, thank them for showing you what you could be. They loved you so much that they became what you don't want to be and showed you it, so you had the knowledge of knowing it existed and the free will to decide to not accept that as your choice. Because everybody in your life that influences you is a mirror of your inner being. And it's showing everything about possibilities of what you could have chosen. So the next time you meet a bully, or somebody says something nasty, or your boss yells at you, just think to yourself, Thank you for doing that, for showing me what I could have been, and you chose to do it and show it to me so I could make the conscious decision to never be that. There are many cruel people in this world. You're probably not one of them. So better to experience it by seeing others than to have it yourself. And if you keep cursing those people out and wishing them harm, you're not teaching them to become anything better. And they continue their cycle. So the ironic part is, if you want evil to become good, you cannot fight fire with fire. You have to fight fire with water. In other words, it's opposite. Because water does not extinguish fire, it just changes it. Because what happens when you put water on a fire? The flames dissipate, but smoke arises. In other words, you've transcended it into some other form. And what does it do? It floats away. Fire stays where it is. It burns. It damages. That smoke fades away. You have no idea what your life could be until you start doing the work. And you can only do that when you decide. And because of free will, you can never do it. But eventually, you get tired of the same old eyes. Yeah, real eyes, real eyes. Like I've always said, you need real eyes to realize. Doesn't matter what way you said it. There's no wrong way. Whatever resonates with you. And what is resonation? It's vibration. It's energy. For some reason, people to this day still find that stuff as insane or crazy. To me, that's insane or crazy for people to think that. But they have the right to. You have the right to go up to somebody and punch them in the face. But they have the right to punch you back. So just because you do something doesn't mean there's not a consequence. If you decide, if you're laying on the beach and you see somebody drowning, and you could save them and you choose not to, well, there's a consequence to that. Because you're like, oh, I don't want to get wet, or what if I drowned? Well, if you had the ability to save somebody and you made a conscious decision not to, well, aren't you partially responsible for what they're doing, what happens to them? Okay, somebody, I think it faded away, but I think they said somebody feels hopeless. Well, what do you need to learn from that? Why do you feel hopeless? What can you learn from that experience? Why do you feel you need the need to give up hope? You can always get new hope. If you're feeling hopeless, situation that's trying to tell you, hello, McFly, get out of the position you're in, do something different. We're going to make you feel this until you get your butt out of your chair or out of your bed or out of your job or out of your relationship and find where you're supposed to truly be. So Zippy, if you feel hopelessness, what are you going to do to fix that? My words mean nothing to you if they don't resonate with you. But the fact that you're here even listening at all means that you're reaching out. What you do with that is up to you. If you're waiting for me to give you the miracle cure, you will be waiting forever. All I can give is sharing of my experience. You can emulate, you could mock it, you can ignore it, you can rearrange it, you can make it your own. That choice is up to you. So if you feel hopeless, what are you doing to correct that? If you're watching the news and you're scared about what's going on in the politics and you're afraid of war, or you're afraid of an asteroid, or you're afraid of bugs, or you're afraid of this, or you're afraid of that, how is that helping you become less hopeless and become hopeful? Okay, so you change your hopeless into hopeful. Well, how do you get something that you have less of into something you have full of? Well, it's by filling it with something. So if you're hopeless, fill yourself up with hope. Become hopeful. Look for something, set a small little goal, and be very proud that you achieved it. That will give you more strength, and it will give you more hope. And then you will become from hopeless to hopeful. In other words, full of hope. So that's up to you. If you want to give up, or you want to make fun of it, or you want to say you have no hope, well, that's only right as long as you keep that mentality. In an infinite universe with infinite possibilities, you can change that at any moment. It's like driving down the street. Just because you go a certain way to work or to a friend's house or to the store doesn't mean you can't go another way. You never know. There might be some beautiful scenery. Or you could have made a wrong turn and you ended up, somebody hijacked your car, carjacked your car. Well, what then? Well, I should never go down that street again. Or I should be more diligent about it if I do go down that street. In other words, you learn from an experience. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, that is the definition of insanity. So even people that want to raise their consciousness and listen to all this stuff, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's not woe is you. It's not poor you. It's not your misfortune or your bad luck. It's that you are not doing anything differently for fear of maybe being judged or fear of failure. So what if you fail? You know how many times people have failed in their life? Well, you ever see the movie What About Bob? Basically, they said he was probably in that lifetime for hundreds of years, living the same moment, failing again and again, until one day he got it right, at least for himself. So who cares if you fail? If you fail, that's life's way of saying, hey, dummy, don't do that anymore. If you keep doing it, then you really are the dummy. If you hit yourself in the head and it hurts, you learn not to do it. And if you do it again, I guess you like pain. And if you do it again, you're thinking that, well, if I punch myself this time, I feel better. Well, eventually you learn, hello, this is not a smart idea. So if you're hopeless, what are you doing to become hopeful? Take responsibility for your life. Don't seek me or God or anybody for answers. You have the answers inside your heart. And if you don't listen to your heart, then you will never find peace. So Zippy says, I feel hope is for the deluded right now. I look at real life. Well, that's your choice. Then don't be shocked that you're hopeless. That's all I can tell you. You have made it clear that you want to be stubborn and you're afraid of trying something different. You want to use other people as an example so you don't have to take responsibility for your choices, and you will remain hopeless. Well, that's your free will. That's your choice. But here's the beautiful thing. When you're ready to change, if you're ready to change, you will. If you want to complain all your life, go right ahead. You know, that's the first thing babies learn. Babies learn that if they cry loud and often, they will get attention. There are better ways to get attention than crying and yelling and screaming like a little baby. That's what a lot of people do online when they do nasty comments, or they make fun of people, or they attack people for somebody actually trying to care about more than themselves and try and help others. They lash out because it makes them feel the attention that they've been desiring, and they're just too afraid to admit it. The true power is to know that you can be alone and you'll never be alone. The true power is knowing that you're not afraid of judgment, even when you are judged. Because I'll get people that'll criticize this. I'll get people that'll make fun of it. You think I care? Or do you think that's going to change my life one bit? I used to let that happen. I used to let it affect me. Well, I had to learn through that experience, and I made the conscious to no longer allow that. So if you want to make a video that makes fun of me about it, send me the link. I'll watch it and I'll thumb it up. Just to show you that it means nothing to me anymore, like it once did. Because in order to learn how to better yourself, sometimes you have to have those negative experiences. And I can sit there and say, woe is me, or feel bad, like I did at times, or feel suicidal, which I've done in the past. Never done anything about it, but you know, you can think about negative things. It's part of life. Or you can say, all right, what can I do differently so I can better my life? That's up to you. So if you want to let go of the fear, that's great. If you want to hold on to it like it's your best friend, go right ahead. But don't be surprised that that's all you get. So if you want yourself to have a better life, if you want to feel lighter and you want to be enlightened and up the cloud 9, rise above and feel brilliance in your life, it's all about light. Think about the words. You have a bright idea. You're brilliant. It's all about energy. It's all in the words. You can call it coincidence all you want. If that makes you feel better, then that's great. And Zippy, that's great. You hear this? See, I could have fought him. I could have made fun of him. And what would it have done? If I would have attacked him and called him like names and yelled at him and pointed him out and made fun of him, What do you think the turnout would be? His response would be to be defensive. You know what that comment was? I'm here to listen. That's beautiful. See how you can change a person by not yelling and screaming and making fun of them? The person wanted attention. The person got attention. And I did it in a more positive way, giving options of what you can do in life. And instead of now him attacking me, which would have created a circle, a loop, he's here to listen. So I hope you do. And Zippy, thank you for that comment, because it shows that we are all afraid. So some of us are so afraid to even admit we're afraid because, oh, you're less of a man or less of a woman or less of a human being. It's an emotion. You're supposed to learn from it. If you hide it, how do you learn from something you hide? You ever have something you hid and you never found it again? Think about that here in your heart. How many things you've hidden in there and totally forgot is even there. How's that going to help you? One day you will be full of hope. It may not be this lifetime, or it can be this lifetime. The beautiful thing about light is it works so fast. It works before you even realize you had to work at it. And when you realize it doesn't even need to be work and it can actually be fun, your life will be full of hope. Find something that you can do that can give you a little bit of hope. Maybe this video is the start of that. Who knows? But I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate the conversation. I wish nothing but the best for all of you. But you gotta want it. It's a choice. Free will. How many people do you know, or how many times in your life have you cursed out for all the bad things that have happened in your life? Be real about it. How many people do you know have cursed out God and say, I can't believe you're allowing this, and oh, why does this have to happen? Why are people starving, and why is this? Why are there wars? Well, if God changed everything, then you would be a slave, wouldn't you? Because if he, she, it, whatever, if the source or whatever had the ability to change everything in your life, that means you have, it means you're going to do what somebody else commands you to do. That's not love. That's not free will. Free will means free will. Do you know what free will means? You can do whatever you want. You can kick a baby, which you shouldn't do, but somebody can do it, and unfortunately there are people who've done worse. Or you can love a baby and create a baby. You can take the life of an infant that's unborn. Who knows what that baby would have become? Just imagine if somebody aborted Einstein. Or even if you think about it, what about Hitler? And I'm saying his name incorrectly. How many good things could have come out of that evil person's ways? Who knows how many good things came out of wanting to fight that injustice? And how many things may be different if that person would have never been born? Because you never know where life would be. Because sometimes darkness is there to help gear you towards the light. So they serve a purpose as well. I want to leave this on a positive. You can be whatever you choose to be. If you are seeking something better, then you have to seek from within. If your heart is full of fear and you listen to nothing but your head and you listen to others do nothing but pound, you can't do it and you're not worthy and you're not good enough and we have to fight and it's a battle and it's a war, then you, congratulations, are being pushed down to a lower vibration that does nothing positive. Be angry, scared, and hateful all at the same time and tell me how good your life is going to come. When and if you are ready to make the conscious decision that today is the day that I'm going to start looking at things differently and I'm going to see negativity as a learning tool and be grateful that it appeared in my life, because no matter what the world has thrown at me, I'm still here. No matter how many toxins are in the air, no matter how many poisons are in the food and water, no matter how many things they spray, you're still here. You're still alive. That's how powerful you are. And the healthiest people in the world one day will still die. It's what you do in your life that matters. You know, if you think money buys you happiness, then why is it some of the wealthiest people in this entire planet are doing nothing but destructive things to try and keep people down? You'd think if you had billions of dollars, you'd just buy an island and build an amusement park and have all the cake and ice cream and all the friends you want and shoot pool every day and swim in crystal clear waters and do everything to save lives. But you haven't noticed some of the most billionaire, richest people in this planet do nothing but destructive things towards the human race? There's got to be a reason for it. It's definitely not happiness. They definitely don't have empathy. So there's got to be something deeper behind it. But you know what? Bill Gates ain't affecting me. The Rothschilds are doing nothing to me now. Because once you realize you are golden and you are light and you will create a shield that nothing can penetrate to, you will never be wounded again. Now, that doesn't mean bad things won't happen, because again, they are learning experiences. It's how you react to them that will change. You cannot change the outside world, but you can change how you react to it. And the reason I say can is because, call it God, call it your higher source, call it the one, call it whatever you want, loved you so much that it gave you the ability to make your own decisions. But they loved you so much that you will never expire. You will be forever, even if it takes you forever to learn that. The purpose of being here on Earth in this third dimensional plane, in this third dimensional realm, is for us to go as far away from the light into the deepest depths of darkness where a physical body can actually hold itself without collapsing, forget everything that you know that you are, and still find your way back home. That's the ultimate video game. And if you realize how powerful you have to be just to be here, to have bombardment of gravity and third dimensional reality crushing against you, and I'm not fighting it. Do you see me trying to push the energy away? Do you see it affecting me? That's how strong you are. That you can get a virus, that you can get a sickness, you can get a stomach ache, you can have your leg amputated, you can have no arms and no legs, all your teeth can fall out. You lose an eye, you go blind, you go deaf, you're still here. That's how powerful you are. The more positive things you do in your life, you may never change anything else in the world, but if you change yourself, you've changed everything. So be inspiration. If you want to inspire. If you want to hurt people, then you'll go on living that way and you'll have always something to hurt and you'll always feel pain. That to me is not the best way to transcend. When you're ready, you will. If you just thank me for it and you do nothing, it doesn't make me feel any better knowing that you thank me for something you're not going to do anything about. How is that helping the world? How is that helping yourself? You want to stop this world from coming to a bad situation? Do something. Lindsay says, do you think crying is a sign of weakness? No. Crying is an emotion. Do you know that when you cry, you actually release saline and other toxins from your body? So in other words, you're taking toxins that are in your body, releasing them out of your body. So you're actually purifying your body. So anybody that says crying is a weakness is somebody afraid to cry. That's a fear. I'm not afraid to cry, show emotion. Caring people should show empathy. You know, if somebody runs over a cat on purpose, they're not going to cry about it. Why? Because they're evil, and they wanted to create evil. There is no empathy. But you ever, unfortunately, see it over, and it made you become teary-eyed? It's because you felt their pain. Because you care. You have emotion. You have... Fighting Irish says, if you don't cry, you're a monster. No, that's not true. You're just a person that's afraid to show emotion. And you have to ask yourself, why? You know why most people are afraid to cry? Because they're afraid people will think differently of them. In other words, it always comes back to judgment. The biggest fear that people have in their lives is being judged for who they are. Why do you think so many people have skeletons in their closet and they're afraid to share them for fear of being judged? And that's why so many people in this world are doing things that they really shouldn't do, because others use that as an advantage. Saying, oh, we got a lot of information on you, and if you don't do what we say, we're going to put it out in the world. And because they're so afraid of being exposed for who they are, because they chose to do corrupt and wrong things, which is a choice, not a good one, but a choice, it comes back to haunt them. So one of the biggest fears we all have is being judged. See, I'm putting myself out in the world. I'm putting all this out there talking about light and universes and entities and spirits and how you'll live forever. You know how many people look at that and say, oh, this person's bat poop crazy? Do you think I care? Or you think that's going to change how I think? It used to affect what I said. I was afraid to say things for a long time for fear of being judged. Once you get rid of that fear, it's gone. You don't need it anymore. Just like when I got rid of sugar, I don't need it anymore. I don't crave cookies and cakes anymore. It'd be awesome if I can have one, but I choose not to because it's not doing anything beneficial to my body other than giving me a little brief moment of euphoria that ultimately turns into sickness. Now, if I have a tomato, I can taste the sugar and the sweetness. It's amazing. And Lindsay says, I love your outlook on life. Thank you so much. So thank you. Watch my old videos. My outlook on life was not this way 10 years ago. Probably even 5 years ago. Maybe even 5 days ago, it might not have been the same. You grow every day, and once you learn these things, it gets easier. You know, when you first go to school, you have to learn. Just imagine if the first day of kindergarten, they said, okay, you're going to have to learn to count. You're going to have to learn to divide and multiply and add and subtract. You have to learn history. You have to learn economics. You have to learn about monetary system and all this stuff. I can't do this. That's too much. So how did you learn it? Through the process of different grades and many years. It's the same thing about yourself inside. If you're expecting to change overnight, you're going to wake up every day disappointed, and you're going to be full of regret, and you're never going to move. You're going to stay in kindergarten for the rest of your life. You can, but do you think a person that has a higher education than a kindergartner is going to benefit more positively in the world and get further along in the world? Everything's a choice. Stop blaming others for what you can do or what you choose not to do. There are wars going on. Remember when I've said even 10 years ago, look at my video that I said there will never be a World War III. I said it again about a month ago when everybody was so afraid, oh, this is it, it's going to be World War III. How many rockets, how many nuclear missiles have been dropped since then? All they do is scare you, and it works time and time again. And you create a lower vibrational energy, and the combination of everybody's energy keeps us all, well, most of us, in a lower vibration. Once you realize you are a part of the universe, part of God, part of the source, and you are light and you are golden, and you reach from within and pull out that love and that light, you will be surrounded with a shield of light that will protect you from everything. Or you can say that's ridiculous, that's crazy, and I'm insane. Listen to my words. Does it sound like I'm crazy? You can judge me on that all you want. Won't change a darn thing. Because there was an episode of Scrubs one time where JD had one of his dreams that he died, and there was a priest talking to all the people sitting in the pews, saying, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So there you go. You can hate me, you can judge me, you can call me crazy, you can ignore everything I say, you can come here just to mock me and thumb my videos down, but I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it. So with that, you have a wonderful day. I hope this brings you to a better journey. For those who watched the whole video from beginning to end, I want you to be proud enough to put it in the comment section, not the live chat, in the comment section of this video once it uploads. I want you to be proud enough to put in a comment that you watched this entire video, and then let me know what you thought about it. And I'm going to give you some information and some insight I've been getting recently, because my dreams, because I've been doing more meditation, which I highly recommend you start doing. If you don't meditate, start learning. Like I said, if you want to learn how to meditate, you sit outside. You have to go outside. Stay away from your computer. Stay away from your electronics. Get out of your house. Get into some form of nature, even if it's your backyard. Okay? Close your eyes. You breathe in and breathe out and feel the tingling sensation you get at the bottom of your spine, and just imagine it rising to the top of your head and then going out through a energetic light up into the sky, connecting to your higher source. Start meditating, relaxing. But since I've been doing that, my dreams have become more and more profound. And I've been told that soon there's going to, and this is something I was even afraid to say, but I'm not afraid of being judged anymore. I've gotten rid of the fear. So I'm going to say something that many people are probably going to ridicule, judge, and probably say I'm crazy for. That I've been told through a dream that there is going to be a miracle coming. I don't know when, but they said look up in the sky for what will appear to be a double rainbow in the shape of a cross. That ever happens, that should tell you something. So I did not know when. They said soon. Now, since time is irrelevant and time does not exist, there could be different concepts of time. So soon for us could be tomorrow or next week, but soon for them could be 8 decades from now. So I do not have a time, but this is what I've been told, that a miracle's coming, that there is going to be light that's coming down, it's going to change the world. For some people, it's going to be possibly not as fun as they would like it to be, but for others who transcend and get their poop together by searching inside themselves, they're going to experience that light and will change them in a way that will make them more beautiful than they can ever imagine. An awakening is happening. So look up in the sky and think about the song Bohemian Rhapsody. Is this the real life? Is it just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for any comments, good or bad. I appreciate them all. I will learn from each and every one. I hope you find a better place in your life. And if you don't, maybe you'll find it next life. For those who listen and resonate with what I say, be proud of any particular thing that I've said that helps you. And it is my pleasure to do it, and I ask for nothing in return. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. And you're no longer at war. If you have that old mindset, you are going to fade away in a way, you'll just get left back. We'll put it that way. Nothing ever dies. You transcend. So get rid of the fear. There is no hell. You're living your hell right now. There's nothing worse. You're just forgetting who you truly are and the potential of what you could be. But you'll remember again soon. The way to get there faster is by searching within, searching into your heart, being happy, your fear, and knowing that even if you're watching this and you have to go into an empty house, you are never alone. There are infinite beings who love you that are all around you. Listen for them. You have a great day, and I'll see you next time.